Hi guys, welcome back to part 5 of Developing Dallas, and in today's episode this is the team, or the players actually, that I've already got in the club. As you can see, I've got a lot of Cowboys players already, and it's just deciding who to put in each episode. And we got Ryan Russell here, who looks a lot like Larry Webster, to be perfectly honest. Just a little bit slower, but I mean, once he gets round the block, if he can get round the block, that is, he'll get to the quarterback so quickly. And I mean, since I use the D-line, that block shared chance increases a hell of a lot, which I'm hoping will benefit me a lot when using that sort of card. So we've got a lot of Cowboys in the team overall now, and we're doubling up in some positions because obviously there aren't bronze cards for every position. But Dustin Vaughn here, I want to upgrade from Showers because I know he didn't play too badly, but the throws that he did throw badly could be easy picks for someone, you know, if their user room was good or if they had a higher rate, like a higher rated team. They'd be easy picks. So I want to work my way up the quarterbacks as quickly as possible, to be perfectly honest. But getting more protection for the quarterback here. Weems here is a bit higher rated, but he's not actually better at left tackle. So, annoyingly, we're going to have to replace the guy we already had, but we'll move him to right tackle, I think, to get a more substantial or more Cowboy players into the team. And we got Swaim here, who's, to be honest, I'm quite liking Ladouceur. I probably pronounced that wrong again, but I'm quite liking him. I mean, his release is terrible, but besides that, I mean, you can really tell that release from when he gets caught up on players and his time getting off the line is so slow. But, I mean, this tight end's more of a receiving tight end, whereas Ladouceur was a blocking tight end. And I've been throwing a fair amount, even with the bronze quarterbacks. So, hopefully, that'll benefit us a bit more, because I love to throw to the tight end. I think throwing to the tight end is one of the easiest things you can abuse this year, because tight ends seem to be open a hell of a lot of the time, and they're matchup nightmares for people, because people tend to go either man coverage, they blitz a lot, are the two main things, so man coverage and blitz, and the tight end tends to be man coverage because they're up against the corner and they've got 6 inches height wise, so if you just throw the ball high, they're going to win it most of the time just due to their height. So as you can see, we had Miller left tackle before. Obviously, he's not that much better than Robinson, but we're going to get him in just to make more Cowboy players part of the team. And we're getting towards a full Cowboys line there. I mean, we got 3 out of the 5, so it's not bad. We got a few other players we can add in next episode. I haven't looked at what positions they are. I know one of them is a wide receiver because I just picked him up a minute ago and he's got 96 speed. So I'm hoping that'll be a lot of deep balls and we'll be able to hopefully score that way. Even though his catching is only 47, which seems ridiculous because that's actually lower than some linemen. But, I mean, we'll work around that when the time comes. But as you can see, next episode we'll finish up the bronzes. There's only 4 left. Hopefully I can actually find them on the auction block because I've been looking for them just to pick them up and they haven't been on there whatsoever. And if they have, they've been about 10k. And I don't want to pay 10k for a bronze card. I'm going to use for only a few games and then only be able to sell him 500 coins. So if that happens, I'll move on to some silvers as well, just to keep the series progressing at a good rate. But if you guys have enjoyed the video up to this point, drop a like on the button. Let's try and get 15 likes. I mean, we haven't been hitting that target lately, but let's try and hit it this episode. Let me know how much you're enjoying the series by dropping a like. If you don't usually do it on just this one episode, just so I know who's enjoying the series and how many people are. Comment down below. I'll leave a question of the day down below, so comment on that. And subscribe if you're new. But as per usual, I'll jump into a game now, so I will see you guys there. So, jumping into a game here. You know when you go into a game, I don't know if many people have actually had this yet, but when you go into a game with nearly a full bronze lineup, you're always pretty worried, which was how I was feeling in this game, to be perfectly honest, because some of your players you just know aren't going to perform insanely well, but certain plays were just working. And this first play of the game, good throw, can't complain about the throw, brilliant run, sort of a weaving run there from both the new players, the new quarterback and the new tight ends. Can't complain anything to start with, to be honest. So we're slowly grinding our way up the field here. You know, getting decent yardage per play. And I'll be honest, I was abusing the mesh play a fair amount this game because it was working. But it didn't work at the end of this drive. But I settled for the field goal. I'm not going to risk it early on. I'm just going to get a few points on the board. I know a lot of people like to risk it at that point, but when you're playing with a full bronze team, you got to play smart. You can't play risky too often because, I mean, 5 times out of 10, my quarterback is just going to make an awful throw. And then 4 of those other times, the route running is just going to be dreadful by my players. But nearly get a pick there. One thing that is definitely saving me with this team is the defense is just performing unbelievably well. Like, I don't give up too many touchdowns or too many yards in total, to be honest. Like, you can see, we get him to 4th and 12 there. He could have made that catch, I thought. He got pretty unlucky there. If he'd have just stopped for a second with Winston and, you know, planted his feet, he would have made that catch. And I got lucky with that catch there as well. So, we're 2nd and 2. If I get a touchdown here, I go up 2 possessions. I know I can hold this guy sort of on his offense because his offense wasn't brilliant. He was running hurry up a fair bit when he wasn't getting very far. Pretty strange to me, but he managed to get me to 4th and goal. It seems to be happening a fair bit at the moment where I'm having to rely on 3rd, 4th down to actually get the 10 yards I need to. But we managed to toss the ball, get it in pretty, you know, easily since we were only 2 yards out. He gambled up the middle, and you go with a pitch play, and it works 9 times out of 10. So we get a 10-0 lead. We get into 4th and 12 again, and we managed to bat that down, and we get the ball back again on his 40-yard line. So we're going to go with a screen play because he was gambling on the mesh play at this point. As you can see, he was just waiting over the middle. And we got Dre Archer, so we're going to weave in and out. That's one thing I'm definitely getting a lot better at, is weaving in and out, sort of finding the gaps with on when I'm running. And it's getting me a lot more touchdowns than I used to, because I used to just sort of bomb it straight for the end zone rather than, you know, cutting back. Maybe you cut back a few yards and then gain, sort of, you cut back 3 yards, gain 8 yards in total. So we're on defence again here. 2nd and 6. We managed to put some good pressure on, and he throws it straight down the throat of Sherman. And Sherman's not going to drop a catch like that. I mean, Sherman cards are phenomenal in Madden. All of them. I mean, he's got about, 5, 6 versions. And if I could afford all the main versions, I'd use all the versions of Sherman in my team. But you can see he was gambling on the mesh play, but he was overplaying it and he was overrunning it. So since he was ahead of the ball there, I saw there was a little split second where I could throw it. And I managed to throw that perfectly between 2 players. This quarterback's got pretty decent throw mid and throw short, so I'm trying to abuse that where I can. That's why I'm abusing the mesh play, because I can't throw it deep. He hasn't got any throw, like his throw power's in the 80s and his throw deep's in the 60s, so I have to go for short gains rather than the big long gains like that. My quarterback wouldn't be able to make that throw. But he managed to get on the board sort of quite late in the 3rd. And I'm going to try and run the clock down a little bit. I mean, things like that were happening a fair amount of times, so I couldn't consistently get good drives going. I mean, I know I'm at 24-6, but I was just picking safe routes the whole time. And since I've got the low-rated corners and he's got decent rated receivers, he's going to make catches like that all day, and he started to figure that out at this point. Like, he didn't test that at all in the first half, but that's something that could easily beat me, was just abuse the fact I've got low-rated cornerbacks who all they've got is speed. I mean, I just put in players who were reasonably quick, and at those points, that's where it definitely doesn't benefit me, because they're with the player, but they can't break it up or do anything with the ball, to be perfectly honest. But he's starting to mount a little comeback here. 24-13. Luckily, I've managed to just run the clock down. His run defence wasn't good, and we get 3rd and 9 there. He's got no timeouts left at this point. Wasn't using them strategically whatsoever, and I'm just going to run down the clock and win the game. I mean, when I've got the bronze players, I'm just going to try and get wins on the board. But when I get to the sort of later on in the series, I'll try and do a few more flashy plays. But for now, I just want to try and get the best out of the players I've got. And as you can see, we definitely deserve that win. So if you've enjoyed the video, guys, drop a like on the video. Comment down below on the question of the day that I'll leave down there. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of Developing Dallas.